Intuition. This can be such a broad topic, and I want to simplify it because intuition is nothing more than tuning into our highest self. It's being in the flow of life. And it's not something we need to try to achieve. You can do different exercises to enhance your intuition, but your intuition is always there. You don't need to, it's not something that some people have and other people don't. Intuition is it's embedded within us, and we can choose to listen to our intuition, or we cannot choose to listen to our intuition. And unfortunately, our society is set up to not listen to our intuition, to have others make choices for us. For example, our parents. Many of us grew up kind of going with the flow of the family or what our parents thought was best for us, but we didn't really have many opportunity to actually exercise our power of choice, to tune into, well, what is it that I actually want? How many times in life do you say, well, I don't even know what I want? That's an indication that we are disconnected from our intuition. We are disconnected from our highest state of being, or our highest self. So we can connect with ourself at any time through meditation. And, we have varying people who, varying different practices within our community. So some of you may be regular meditators, and some of you may not meditate at all, but also practice mindfulness in other ways. So however you practice being still and being quiet long enough to listen to the intuition. So if you're in a time of confusion, you're feeling busy in your noggin, and maybe have some choices ahead of you, or you're in a place of making a choice right now, get quiet long enough to listen. And this weekend, if you're not doing anything, Saturday at 12, come to my Practicing Silence workshop/practice that I'm leading at Ordinary Pioneer, because that's exactly what we're going to do. Getting quiet allows us to clear out the noise of expectation from other people, common sense, maybe the path that is best serving you isn't common sense. Maybe it's not logical, but it's where your heart is guiding you, and that is the best place you could be right now. Getting quiet helps us to take ease in the process of change. That can be one of the scariest processes, is going through change, and why many of us don't listen to our intuition, because we know if we pay attention to those signals that are within our body, that are within our mind, then that means that life will look very different. And typically we assume that it's going to be the worst case scenario, but what if it's the best case scenario? What if trusting our intuition is here to guide us into the life we are desiring, which is probably a life of peace and ease, right? So our intuition is never there to lead us astray. Our intuition is here to help us grow and understand where it is that we're headed. Because I don't think we really know. I think we can come up with an idea and have goals and manifest and all of the fun things about being a human being with a human mind. But do we really know where we're headed? I don't know. For me, I try to simplify it, and I know where I want to go is a space that is in balance. I want to be in balance in my body and my mind. So with our bodies, an indication that we are out of balance, that we have not been listening to our intuition, is we get sick. That's why we get sick. Yes, there's germs and all those things, but I see all of illness as symbolic of where we are disconnected from our spirit, from our highest self. So if you are experiencing illness right now, whether it's germies, or your body is fatigued, or you are having different kinds of mental illness right now, something to look at is, where am I disconnected from my highest self? So going back to the getting quiet, let's take the mind. Let's say we are suffering through different mental illness. Let's take, oh my gosh, there's so many. We're really going through it right now. All right, so I'm just going to generalize this into, let's go with anxiety. Worry, fear, all of that. So all of that's happening because we're listening to these stories in our mind that says what happened in the past is going to happen again. Surely it's going to happen again. But we're not quiet enough to listen to the new story that's ahead of us, which has nothing to do with the past. It is everything to do with becoming our truest selves. So when we get quiet, listen to the story that's on repeat in your mind. What is that fear that you think that you are facing? And logically decide if this is something that's actually happening right now. And maybe it is. And we could talk about that too. But if daddy left when we were 6 years old, well, daddy already left. He's not going to leave again. It's gone. It's in the past, right? We may feel fear that our partner may do the same to us. But if they're here right now, can we not be here with them right now and see what's available for that? Not letting fear drive our decision making, but we can only get there if we are quiet, if we are still long enough to listen to what that story is that's on repeat. And now with our physical body, all of that, Carolyn Myss talks about the physical body as being the caboose. So this is the last step. So if you are having physical illness, look at what energy you're holding on to. Look at the mind, look at the heart, because the body is feeding off of that. I had this insight the other day where the body is the quickest healer. It simply responds to the energy of the spirit. So if or I'll say the spirit of the soul, the one doing the work, if the one doing the work, the soul heals, then the body instantaneously. That's why we have these miracles of people, who are blind and can now see, or can't walk and all of a sudden they can walk, or, one day they're like on their deathbed and the next day they're out and about. It's because there's a transformation that's happening on a soul level that the body responds to, and the body will respond instantaneously. So if you are suffering from chronic illness, look at that. Where's this resistance to allowing your soul to move into that next level of evolution? What is it that you are being called to say bye-bye to? Is it this a relationship that you're in that tightens your gut and it just doesn't feel right? Is it your work environment? Where do you spend your time? Who do you spend your time with? And this is why the practicing silence can be so beneficial, because we're by ourselves a lot of you, and you can practice it with other people, and we'll talk about that this weekend. But when you are meditating, when you're still and silent by yourself, the noise has an opportunity to clear away. And then when you reset the nervous system, you go back out into the world, you can begin to more clearly sense what is dragging me down, what is putting me in that fight or flight, what is causing me worry, and then begin to work with it a little bit more in a more detailed way, versus everything's driving me crazy or everything's making me sick. It just allows us to work with the energy a little bit more. So then when it comes to decision making, and this is something that I learned several years ago when I had what I thought was a big decision in front of me. And I knew I wasn't ready to make change. I just wasn't. So I acknowledged to the divine forces of the universe, like, I see that there's this big change ahead of me and I'm just not ready to do it. And I felt a lot of peace with that, because I knew that connected me with what was available in the present moment versus looking into the future for something that hasn't happened yet. So I was able to work with the emotions that would lead up to the change. And that was the most productive place I could be in. So if you are, that you're going to leave your job, you're not going to stay here forever, and it's just weighing on you, but it's not time yet to walk out that door, then be in the present moment with what is coming through, because you only have this opportunity, this present moment right here, to work with the energy that you have. This is how we get to play as creator, is what is happening inside of me that I can transform in this moment. Because the physical world, just like I said with the body, the physical world can change in an instant. But for that to happen, whether we want it to happen or not, there needs to be an inner transformation to take place. So this is the work. This is why we emphasize the inner work, because the external world, it doesn't matter. If you reflect on your life, you've been through so many different lives just in this body alone. If you take it back from your childhood and the things that you were interested in and the people you hung out with and your personality, and then you just mark different times over the years, you've probably gone through several transformations. In a way, you've become different people in each of those stages. So, and then you have several more lives to live within this body too. So let go of the emphasis on what this physical world is going to look like, and just start looking at what is transforming or wanting to transform within you. From that mindset, there's no choice to be made. There's nothing to decide, and there's nothing to figure out, because all that there is the movement of the energy within you in that moment. So it's not about having this new partner or leaving this partner or getting this new job or leaving this job or moving to a different city versus staying here. In the present moment, we can see that I am here. I am here with this energy. What is transforming within me, and how can I be at peace in this moment with myself, versus going the other route of trying to make this external world reflect how I want to feel inside. Does that make sense? It's working backwards. If we get another job, we're just going to have the same kind of boss and the same kind of people. If we get another partner, because we're not happy with this one, it's going to be the same deal over and over and over again. This is the cycle of healing. But if we bring balance and we learn to fully love and embrace all parts of that inner self, then the external world is going to respond to that, and the external world will be a lot more peaceful in a more everlasting way, versus constantly having to change over and change over and change over, because your spirit is trying to pull you back inside to look at all those places that you are not wanting to pay attention to. So do it now. And the intuition, coming back to the intuition is just these signals that we feel every single day. We don't need to complicate it. We don't need to, do all these rituals and do all, just get quiet, just get still and listen. Listen to where the tension is in the body, and then go in there into the body. Let's say your shoulders are tight right now. Go into your shoulders and just relax the muscles. Wow, you created such beautiful change in just that moment. Okay, that's the subtlety of it. Now that the shoulders are relaxed, the body's going to feel more at ease, and you might walk a little straighter, right? And then you're walking a little bit straighter. Somebody may notice, wow, look how confident you're walking. Like, wow, like I should really talk to that person, right? Like these really subtle changes can create such huge impacts in your life. Maybe in your meditation, you have this realization that the story is present and it's in a cycle, and you can let go of this. Oh my goodness, so much can open up from that too. Just not letting these little things dictate how you operate day to day. Something I've been reflecting on with myself is how much energy I just expel with these repetitive thoughts. I forget what the number is. We've got like, I don't know, however many thoughts in a day. You can Google it right now, but it's all repeat. They're not original thoughts. It's just a reflection of the turmoil that we're creating in our world, that pit of doom, that you may have heard me say, like, we are creating that. We're creating this hell realm inside of us. So let that go and get still and get quiet and find out what is present beyond the noise. And when you can do that, there's peace. There's peace, and it doesn't take much. So that's my invitation for us this week, is to take moments of pause and stillness, and come to my workshop on Saturday. And yeah, let me know how you're doing. Send me messages. I'll check in on you this week. And yeah, I hope the energy is shifted a little bit more easier for us this week, because I know last week was really tough for many. So praying for you all, and hope to see you soon.